I was thinking about practicing the Sankalpa meditation, which is quite a involved practice. So if you don't want to, let me know. I'll tell you what it is first. So Sankalpa is, like it said, sometimes it translates as that which resonates with your spirit, or like a vow, sometimes it's translated as. And it's kind of like, this is a nice time of the year to do it, because often it's a time that people make resolutions, but it's not like a resolution like we're, accustomed to. It's actually it's a practice where instead of having your, the regular thinking mind trying to control you and fix you and all that stuff, it's where we actually go right into our soul, basically. We turn in. I kind of have to explain a little bit about it first. You've heard of the chakras, right? The energy centers in your body. Well, what's understood in yoga is that, and this is thought to be like the big bang, the same as the little bang of our own conception. That this concept is that, like, from nothing, then there was something. And that, if you look at it like in the development of the embryo, that there's like the single cell and then many cells, right? That they divide and divide and divide. And that what develops in the embryo is, it's referred to as the notochord. And what the yogis call this, they call it Brahmanadi. It's called the channel that connects you to infinite consciousness, because you were just infinite consciousness without, in other words, unbound, not in form. You were formless. And then, there you began. And that's this concept is that that's where Shiva, which is referred to as the top part of your body, where the cranial and the caudal ends, which you see in the fetus, that being the area where it's called Muladhara, the base of your torso. So they were together and then they move apart along the notochord, referred to as the cranial and caudal ends of the fetus. And that's what the yogis call Shiva and Shakti. So that Shiva and Shakti were together and then they split apart. And really what yoga is to like reunite Shiva and Shakti. So you can come back into that like pure being or formless, pure unconsciousness, where there's no like meanness, there's no separation, there's no worries, there's no anxiety, you see, because all that stuff can only develop in our like duality world, right? Of where we see each other as separate. What I'm talking about is pure oneness. So really every practice in yoga is to help you to come back into oneness. That's why, like, you don't have to have any of it explained to you. You come to class, oh, I feel really good now. Oh, the time went really fast, because you kind of lose sense of time. And I'm trying not to talk for 5 hours. I was going to talk about time, but I won't. But anyway, this understanding is that Sankalpa is that's how come you're here, is because of the universe's Sankalpa, right? That's how come any of us are here. And then we want to tap into knowing our Sankalpa, our individual Sankalpa, so that then what happens when you touch that, and you can't do it with your thinking mind, you can only do it through meditation by the brain waves changing. And you actually, you go into like this area of the body is referred to as the seat of the unconscious. And that's because this understanding, which we can see with the gray matter, there's a lot of gray matter here in the brain. There's also some gray matter here in this part of your spine, right? That's why the yogis call this the subconscious. But then down here, there's basically hardly any. There's a little bit in like nerve fibers, but basically hardly any. And that's why the yogis call this the unconscious. So unconscious, subconscious, conscious. And that what we're doing in this practice is we're going into the unconscious for that Sankalpa, like to blossom for us. And what happens when we tap into that is then it's like that's why sometimes it's called intention. It helps your life to become more intentional. instead of being like, oh my God, how did I get here? Or instead of like, oh, I don't know how come why did I say that? Or, I'm not saying that you would ever be like that, but that unconscious driving that sometimes happens for us, or sometimes people feel like, oh my God, not another bloody job, that the feeling of just this overwhelm is because we're not in touch with the soul. It's like when things don't feel soulful anymore, right? And I know we all know what that feels like, because we do somewhere in us understand this concept that's referred to as the emptiness in all things, in that, like I've said it to you, sometimes a phone could call, you hear a ring, oh, it's the call I've been waiting for, and you're really happy about it. Another time, you're like, why didn't they turn off their phone where a year ago? That's really annoying. Same sound, but our reaction to it is so different, do you see? And so what I'm talking to you about the soul space, is that it's not reactive, because it's whole, like whole as in complete and non-fragmented and pure and holy, like there's a sacredness. So tapping into knowing your own Sankalpa helps your life to be more meaningful, soulful, and beautiful. And so then something like a phone ringing isn't going to bother you, whether it's what you wanted or not. Do you see what I mean? It's like, anyway, I won't go on for hours about that, but have I explained that well enough? And so what's understood is that when that development in the embryo along the notochord is that's where the chakras are deposited. And that's where the seeds are for us for our karma to evolve, for our lives, you see. And so what we do in this practice is we'll do a little bit of asana. That's to help us to like find that line, crown of the head to the base of the torso, and reconnect with the knowledge, which, by the way, we often forget. We generally are forgetful of that. Pure consciousness is coming into us, and it comes down through this line in our body, and it has the name Sa, like as in meaning pure energy, and that's the electromagnetic energy that's turning the earth on its axis. But most of the time, we even forget the Earth's even turning on its axis in our general life, right? Like, because we say things like sunset, right? Everyone says that. We don't say, oh, I see how the Earth's turning on its axis right now, you see? So we have this very much sort of, we've really kind of inculcated what's called the false identity. And we all do that. It's a human condition to do that, really. And this is a way of helping us to be free of that. So we do these practices to, little lovely, easy asana, connecting to remember, crown of the head, base of the torso, Sa, energy coming in, Hum, this is the area of Kanda. It's called the energy junction where all the channels in the body intersect. So we're going to like deliberately like partner with the universal forces. We're going to kind of facilitate the distribution rather than block it, which sometimes we do without, again, unconsciously. So Sa, Hum, to distribute that through our body, through all of our energy channels. We do that. So that's when we do the cat calls and etc. Then we're going to, and I just want to quickly explain it to you because we're going to do some mudras as well. And ideally you won't open your eyes, but if you have to, of course, do. And I may not say them all in the right order because I always have to just like think of it as we're going along. But yes, so one of them will be what we call Matangi Mudra, which I think most of you know, where you bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, just bring the middle fingers out, Matangi Mudra. And so we'll do it like, we'll be chanting what's called the Bija mantras for the chakras, and that's so that we can imagine like you're going into these energy centers to open them up, so that you're kind of like saying to your body, okay, I'm ready to hear my Sankalpa. I'm here for it. I'm here for you. So we start like that, and I'll guide you. You don't have to remember all of this, but we'll, like this, okay? And that's to help us to open to the Sankalpa, and then we'll bring our hands into what's called a Hamkara Mudra. So I'll just say, Uddiyana Mudra is you bring your first finger into your thumb. Sometimes you do it like that, sometimes you do it like that. But a Hamkara Mudra, I'm so excited to tell you all this. A Hamkara Mudra is where you bring your thumb and first finger like that, like you're holding a piece of paper, and then you point that to the center of the chest and then rest your hand down. So at this part of the meditation, we are going to be chanting quietly to ourselves. Before that, when we were doing this one, we'll chant aloud the bija mantras, which I'll tell you them, lam, vam, ram. You don't have to remember it, but that's aloud. And the reason for that is to get you to kind of hear the vibration, because out here, and then see if you can start to really feel it in you. So the beginning sound helps you to find the location of each chakra, because like when you go r, you feel that part of your body. When you say h, you feel this part, and etc. So you feel it and then spread consciousness there, like thinking, like sometimes the chakras are like they're pictured with petals, different number of petals with each one. You can imagine them opening, like a flower opening. And so that's allowed. And then when we do this, we're going to say inside Om Ma. Okay, but you're going to say that quietly to yourself. And we'll do that for a while. And maybe you'll just keep your hand there the whole time. And you'll just be Om Ma inside you. And by that point, you'll have become very internal. And so that is, it's like you're just present for the Sankalpa to arise. And it may arise today. Maybe it arose the other day, and you'll just feel it again. And it may be just a feeling or a sense or a particular word. It's great if it becomes a word, because the next part of it is we're going to write it on the screen of the mind. And when we do that, to help you to find the screen of the mind, you bring your thumbs to your ears and your middle fingers come up onto your head like that. And you close your ears and you're just going to kind of just rest in. And that's to help. This is called Shambhavi Mudra. And that's to help you. You're going to imagine you're going to write on the screen of your mind in handwriting the Sankalpa that's come to you, which may or may not have come to you. Sometimes I don't always teach this meditation because I don't want people to think, oh, it didn't work, didn't get a word. See, told you I can't meditate. Right? But because it's not like that at all. It may or may not. It's like no effort on this path goes to waste. It may come to you when you're in the shower another day. The idea is to learn this practice and then do it every day for 40 days. And once you do have a word, then you write it on the screen of the mind. And then once you do have that word, then you just do the last part of the meditation each day. Do you see? And so I wanted to tell you something more about Om Ma. Oh, yeah. So when you're sitting here, when you're doing Om Ma, after a while, you may want to just put your hand down, or you may want to keep it there. You just do what you feel, what you're sort of guided to. Okay, so if you go Om Ma and boom, there's the word, then you maybe just rest your hand down with it, or maybe you keep it there, you see? So, okay, then we do the Shambhavi, writing on the screen of the mind. And then the next mudra is we bring all the fingers in, but just the first fingers point out. So it's just like the other one, but first fingers, and this is called Uttabodhi Mudra. And so this is to then like plant the Sankalpa into our body. And I'll guide you through that as well, okay? Have I said everything? No, forgot. Okay, and then Dhyana Mudra, first fingers come in like this, and then middle fingers touch. And I know if you haven't heard of all these, you might be going, oh my God, I won't remember it, but I bet you will, because besides I'll explain it to you, but it just is very natural. And so you place the little fingers right down just above your pubic bone, and so not like that, but just straight line like that. And this mudra is to help you to be able to really embed the Sankalpa into the unconscious. Okay? And then we'll sit. Any questions? I've made it sound more complicated than it is. If you don't know how to spell the word, your own spelling, I know you're joking because you wouldn't know how to spell the word. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And as I said, you may not have the word. It may be just a feeling. It may be a sense of it. It may be just sort of like you kind of feel an inclination, so it doesn't have to be fully in a word. And if it is, that's great. And if it's not, that's okay too. Okay. Have I explained it well enough for everyone? All right, good. All right. So we'll just start. We'll just close your eyes. If at any point, by the way, when we are sitting to meditate and you want to lay down, then feel free to do that. When we're doing the Om Ma, you may want to lay down then and then come back to sit up. Okay, so just feel free to adjust any of this for yourself. And then when you're ready, we'll bring your palms underneath your armpits and just have all your fingers touching together and then thumbs up. So you're just resting your hands onto the upper ribs. And this is a practice just to help to balance what's referred to as Ida in Pingala, like the pillars of right and left, of duality. That's why we have duality, by the way. Because have you ever noticed how we've got two hemispheres in the brain and we have, you know, two nostrils? It's kind of funny, isn't it? Two hands. And so in this practice, we're just, you know, feeling down to where your hands are touching. And just noticing the movement that's occurring underneath your hands. Just observing whether both sides feel equal. And if they do, if it feels like both sides are equally expanding outwards with the in-breath and drawing back to center on the out-breath, just rest like that. If you find that one side kind of feels like more dominant than the other, more noticeable, if that is the case, then just notice which of your hands is underneath. Just feel your underneath arm and take just that arm out. And so take the underneath arm out and put it on top. So you just move one arm. And this changes the pressure. And it just starts to balance and harmonize. And what this does is that it starts to just gently bring the breath through both nostrils at the same time, evenly, equally, harmoniously. And as, you know, when you first begin this practice, sometimes your awareness may move out of you. That's kind of like what our consciousness may be familiar with. But you just keep letting it come back in. It's called pratyahara, drawing your senses in. Come back to feeling down into your hands, the sense, the expansion, with the in-breath, the drawing back to center with the out-breath. It just becomes effortless. It's like more and more subtle, like you're just kind of floating to the sense of the breath, even, balanced. And then when you're ready, we'll gently let your arms rest down and move onto your hands and knees. And if possible, you'll keep your eyes closed as you make that transition, but you may need to open them to move your stuff. Bring your fingers all together, touching onto the ground, knees under the hips. Tuck your toes on the in-breath, moving into cow, but do that in a way that you're sensing crown of the head down to the base of the torso, sa, and on the out-breath, curling under, hum. And so as you do this, you know, gentle movement of the cat curls, can you just like really come in to sense the center line, crown to the base? Imagine energy coming down that line, and hum, lower abdomen hugging up to the sacrum. So you're deliberately doing that, like firming the lower abdomen on the out breath, distributing that energy. And as you're moving, just hearing, like that's actually the sound of your breath when you're in movement. It's hum on the out breath and sa on the in breath. So this practice is, to help you to come into your subtle body, called the electromagnetic body. So you start to like get a sense of being breathed. When you are ready for your next out breath, so go at your own pace, seal back into child's pose. Remember, do feel free to modify anything at all that I'm saying to suit you. On your in-breath, moving to Bali, so you're kneeling, your arms raise up. Maybe you have the hands down if that's better for you, have all your fingers touching together. On the out-breath, hum, seal back into child's pose. Lower abdomen hugging to the sacrum. On the in-breath, cobra, sa, so find that center line, hum, hug lower abdomen towards the lower back to the sacrum, hum. And just repeat that. Bali on the in-breath, and find crown of head to the base of the torso, hum, seal, cobra, sa, hum, that energy distributing. Just a couple more times at your own breath rhythm. When you finish this one, take your time, bring your forearms onto the ground and interlace your fingers. We'll lift into a forearm downward dog or headstand if you prefer. We'll just want to be upside down for a little while. If you'd rather be in downward dog, then just come into that instead. What we're practicing here is, it's actually like tipping the seat of the unconscious, like opening. It's interesting how Muladhara is, referred to as the root chakra. And if you think of your sciatic nerves, they kind of look like roots. And Svadhisthana and the pelvis, the seat of the unconscious. It's like opening here, helping you to be free of the false identity. Take your time, bring your knees onto the ground, sit back onto your heels, let your hands just rest into your lap. Eyes resting closed, mouth relaxed, tongue resting down, soft palate of the mouth gently floating upwards. When you're ready, we'll sit with your feet over to your left. So you could sit on a block if you like, put the block under the right bottom. You have your feet however you like. If it's comfy, you put your right toes onto your left ankle. Bring your right arm up. Think of lengthening that arm, fingertips reaching up. Let your eyes rest closed. And again, called Antakarana, turning inwardly. Find that line from crown of the head down to the base of the torso, sa. Hum, lower abdomen hugging back, distributing that energy to every cell of your body. Releasing and changing to the other side. And, usually what happens when we change side is our senses might come out a little bit, but just feel how you can bring them back in again. It's so easy. Fingers touch together, tongue resting down, lengthening crown of head to base of the torso, sa. Hum. That energy distributing. It's like all of the joints becoming spacious, like light and spacious. And the out breath, hum. When you're ready, we'll release and then come to sit. And so, you know, this little practice that we do beforehand, it's actually called a kriya of these postures. They help to get you ready to meditate. And one of the things that it helps you, maybe pop your blanket under your feet so that they are comfy. One of the things that that little practice does is it shows you that even if your senses come out, you can just bring them back in again. It's just so simple. If at any point you get uncomfortable, just move, adjust. You can lay down for a while, come back to sit up if you like. You can sit your back next to a wall if that's better. But just let it be beautiful for you, this practice of coming in, this pure consciousness that is peace, inner peace. So we just begin with the back of the hands onto the knees, Udana Mudra. Take your time to just ensure that you feel balanced with both sitting bones evenly onto the ground, both legs feeling even. So you can kind of press into your feet a little. And the balance in the pelvis, so now it's not tipped too forwards or back or sideways, either way. Feel how you can kind of balance in the lower torso, the whole column, the integrity of the column, front, back, sides of your torso. Let your upper arms roll out a little. Feel how you can balance your chin and what's called the bindu point at the back of the skull so that your head's not too forwards or back. And the soft palate of the mouth can float up. If at any point during our practice, if you find that your tongue is pressed up onto your teeth or the top of the mouth, just let it drop down. You might even let your mouth go, kind of like how if you see if someone's asleep, and they're like that. Let that release happen. It's called Lalana Chakra, where the ears soften. This is actually having a beautiful effect to the vagus nerve. And bringing your palms together, like wrap your hands, and then just point your middle fingers out. So make sure all the others are pressed in, just the middle ones pointing out, Matangi Mudra. And we'll point your middle finger down to the ground as we chant L, L, like an L sound, L, L, to help you to find that area of Muladhara at the perineum, L, L, and Lam. Lam, to spread your consciousness here. Lam, like you're really going in and opening Lam, this energy center. Lam, 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 Lam. Gently just let your hands come up to touch just above the pubic bone, the lower abdomen. Your middle fingers just kind of pointing outwards and a bit downwards now. Svadhisthana chakra, the seat of the unconscious. V. Feel this area behind your hands moving. V. Vam. 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 Gently bringing the heel of the hands to the navel, middle fingers pointing outwards. R, R, R. Feel the belly moving. R, R. This area of your drive, power. R, 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 R. Ram, 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 Ram. Feel how your consciousness spreads. Ram, Ram. Ram, ram, bringing the base of the thumbs to the center of the chest, middle fingers pointing more upwards now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Feel this place of the heart center. Yeah, yum, yum. That energy that is love. Yum, yum. The unconditional quality. Yum is pure being. Yum, 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 yum. Emotional freedom. Yum, 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 yum. Bringing the first fingers just to touch into the chin, the middle fingers pointing upwards to the energy of Vishuddha. Huh, 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 in the throat. Huh, huh, huh. And really feel the vibration inside you, in the throat center, in the jaw, all the way into the back of your neck and to your shoulders. Spacious. Bringing the thumbs to the area just above the bridge of the nose. Ajna Bidana point. We touch this area to help us to pierce inwards with our awareness behind the forehead into the midbrain. And when we're there, our pure consciousness, we're opening to inspiration. K, 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 kasham, kasham. That sense of like an opening between the hemispheres of the brain. Kasham, 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 kasham. Just lowering your hands all the way down into your legs, back of the hands, into the knees, Jnana Mudra, thumb and first fingers touching. And then just bring your right hand into Ahamkara Mudra, like you're holding a piece of paper between your thumb and first finger, and just point right into the center of your chest. And then just rest your hand there. More and more internal, sensing and feeling inside you. You feel the beating of your heart. Om Ma. Internally, it's feeling the vibration of that mantra. Om Ma. Om Ma. Just feel it inside you. Internal. Very, very subtle. Knowing deep inside you. You're opening to your Sankalpa, to your own soul. Just effortlessly. like dreaming. Your forehead relax even more, and in between your eyebrows, and your cheeks softening and your ears softening, whole scalp softening. All the skin on your entire body soft. Like you're dreaming inside, feeling the vibration Om Ma inside you. Not trying, just letting go completely. Just like surrendering, softening, simply being the Om Ma. Allowing your Sankalpa to blossom, to open to you. It's more and more subtle. To the infinite field of consciousness. Letting your hand rest down if you haven't already. Bring your thumbs to your ears in a moment. You'll close your ears, bring your middle fingers to the top of the head, Shambhavi Mudra. Let yourself feel this area the yogis call the screen of the mind, down inwards from your hands. When you're ready, we'll write the Sankalpa on the screen of your mind in your own handwriting. Or you may just be looking at the screen. It may appear. Let your thumbs close your ears. Bringing your thumbs out and interlacing your fingers and turning the first fingers out, Uttar Bodhi Mudra. Bring your thumbs to your forehead. Awareness inwards from your forehead. Bringing the Sankalpa into your brain, nervous system. Bring your thumbs down to your chin. Sankalpa in the throat center. Thumbs to your heart center. We're just going deep inside, deeper down into your body. Sankalpa in the heart center. Right in the center of the body, bringing the heel of the hands to the navel, first fingers pointing outwards. The Sankalpa down to Manipura chakra. Moving the heel of the hands down to where the sacrum is, the lower abdomen. Fingers pointing slightly downward now. And bring the hands into Dhyana Mudra. So first fingers curl to the thumbs, the middle fingers point directly to the other one, ring fingers pointing to the ring finger, little fingers pointing to the little finger. The little fingers right there at, it's referred to as the pubic crease above the pubic bone. Feel in from where your hands are touching to the seat of your unconscious. Bring deep into the soil of yourself. Planting the seed of your Sankalpa deep inside you. Resonates with your spirit, your soul. Just rest your hands onto the knees, back of the hands. The knees, first finger and thumb touching together. Tongue resting in the mouth, soft palate floating up. Just let your awareness come inwards from the forehead into Ajna. As you rest back from the forehead, perhaps you see a radiance, a jyoti. It's the light that reflects pure consciousness. Consciousness moves itself to between the hemispheres of the brain, to the energetic space, the Akasha Vayu, between the brain and the top of your head, and then through the top of the head. When you're ready, just starting to rub your hands a little bit together, just very gently. And then just move them a little bit apart and then a bit further apart. And just notice if you can kind of feel that sensation between your hands as you move them a little closer together again. It's called tejas. And as you move it apart further, it's kind of like more like a brilliance. And as you come closer, it's more like a magnetism. And then cup your hands over your eyes and feel that tejas. It's like a healing through your eyes and into your brain. And then bring your palms to Anjali Mudra at your forehead. Bring this Shiva consciousness of pure being into your life. This practice now, it's called Atva Vatva Samyama. It's a practice to help us to actually manifest what are called siddhis, these miraculous experiences in our life, to ground them, ground the pure being of meditation into our body, into our being. We chant Om Namah Shivaya 4 times. And if you're just new to learning the mantras, you can just kind of, make some kind of sound, something like that. That's totally fine. It's really so that you can feel this energy of pure consciousness permeating into your brain. So it's to feel the vibration more than how it sounds out of you. And ideally, it's like a dream, like we're dreaming the vibration inside us. When you're ready, we'll join together, taking a breath in. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, And drag your hands down onto your cheeks, your jaw, and then rub the back of your neck, like you're giving your back of the neck a little massage and the base of your head, and then place one hand over the other onto your throat. This is called Samana Mudra. And again, with these mudras, just let your eyes rest closed, just approximate it if you're not exactly sure what to do. It's fine. It's really just to feel that tejas from your hands pouring into your throat, and to feel this energy of wisdom, and let it permeate your communication in life and your creative expression and your deep listening. The mantra Om Ayim Saraswatiye Namaha. Om Ayim Saraswatiye Namaha. Om Ayim Saraswatiye Namaha. Om Ayim Saraswatiye Namaha. Drag your hands down onto the top of the sternum. It's where the thymus gland is for vibrant good health. Again, just let yourself sense the vibration inwards from your hands as you chant Om Ram 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 Ramaya Namaha 3 times. Om Ram 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 Ramaya Namaha. Om Ram 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 Ramaya Namaha. Om Ram 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 Ramaya Namaha. Drag your hands down to the center of your chest. The energy right into the heart center. Palms together in Anjali Mudra. The mantra Om Namo Narayanaya. This energy inside you, this vibration. And again, just let it be like a dream. Like it's not how it sounds on the outside. Just let yourself drop the thinking waves. It's kind of like resting back into the deeper brain waves as you feel the vibration of pure love inside you. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Om. Matangi Mudra, heel of the hands, just where the xiphoid process is, below the chest. Wrap all your fingers in, just point the middle finger out. or clear seeing, viveka, this energy here, this area that we refer to as the place of gut feeling. The mantra Om Hrit Ram Swaha. Om Hrit Ram Swaha. Om Hrit Ram Swaha. Om Hrit Ram Swaha. Bring the right hand, the palm down onto the left upward facing palm, called Surya Mudra. Hands at the navel. Feel this energy inside you of every cell, knowing oneness. And, mantra is, it's both like a description and like a revelation of knowing this. And it's also an invocation to invoke this for yourself. So this mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om. Dhyana Mudra, first fingers curl to the thumb, middle fingers touch together, little fingers down at the base of the torso. Feel the energy when you're chanting the mantra, vibrating inside you like a drum beating. You feel that vibration in you of the energy of Durga. Om, Dum, 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 Durgaye Namaha. 3 times. Om, Dum, 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 Durgaye Namaha. Om, Dum, 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 Durgaye Namaha. Om, Dum, 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 Durgaye Namaha. In the back of your hands to touch, interlace all the fingers and then point the first fingers down to the ground and thumbs up. Yoni Mudra. This energy of abundance, generosity, and beauty. This mantra is to help you to release any blocks that you may unconsciously have to this infinite abundance, and to help you to be able to give and receive freely. You can just sense how you've always been provided for, this energy, as you chant Om Lakshmi Vam Sri Kamalaram Swaha. 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 And then bring the heel of the hands onto the hip creases so your thumbs point to the front and the fingers are pressing back. And just kind of push down into where there's a tendon here and lean forwards a little. The mantra Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha. We chant it 3 times. Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Then rub down to your legs and rub all around your knees. And usually by the time you're there, you start to kind of want to open your eyes. So let them just crack open and look out at the ground or look down to your leg and just rub your shin up and down. And then press your thumbs quite strongly into the back of the calf. If you can imagine a line from like the back of the knee down to where your heel is. And do that on both sides. So rub the shins and push your thumbs into that. It's quite tender, actually, that line. And this is a way to really reground you and kind of bring you back here. And squeeze your ankles strongly and then run down the line from your heel to each of your toes, starting with your big toes. And so what this process of the art of Vivat for Samyama is that we've just been doing is to help to really actually drag into your body that infinite consciousness awareness, pure inspiration, all the way out to your feet and your toes, down through your legs, because, that's your vehicle that moves you through life. And that helps you to have your life so meaningful and soulful and inspired, you know. So take your time. We're going to come and lay down into Shavasana when you're ready to. But you may still be doing your feet, but we all have our own timing. So we'll lift into Setu Bandha first of all. And for that, you don't really want to have anything under your head. So you might just have your blanket nearby ready if you want to put it under your head. Put your feet under your knees and lift your hips up high, using the muscles across your bottom to do that, and just like stretching through the front of the hips, and let your belly hug in, and then slowly lower down when you're ready. Put your feet wide on your mat, knees drop into each other, and then you can just drop both knees towards the left, but keep your right bottom on the ground, and then drop both knees over to the right, but keep your left bottom down. And you could just do it like that for a little bit, or maybe you might like to put your left leg on top of the right leg as you bring your legs across over towards the left, but make sure your right bottom stays on the ground. This is what we're doing this for, is to just internally rotate the hips, because if you're sitting cross-legged, it feels nice to do that. And, you know, as Al says, just so you don't walk around like a cowboy. So just do that for as much as you want. Maybe one more Setu Bandha. So kind of releasing through the front of the hips, activating the gluteus medius a little, and then just let your legs slide out, maybe over a bolster. Let your arms rest out to the sides. Perhaps you'd like to have your little pillow or blanket under your head to come into Shavasana. Beautiful Shavasana. Completely resting. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace. encourage you to just stay in Shavasana if you'd like to, please do. It's only if you do feel like sealing our practice, then slowly move your toes and touch your thumbs over your fingertips. And just noticing how you're feeling without a right way to feel. Inner peace, serenity. Becoming more familiar with the soul, with your spirit. Take your time. When you're ready, you could hug your legs in and roll over to your side. When you feel ready to, come up to sit up if you wish, to join together for 3 Oms to seal our practice, or just let the Oms wash over you if you're in Shavasana. So letting the hands touch into Anjali Mudra and breath in together. Namaste. Namaste.